All right, guys, we're going to jump into market structures today and kind of go through kind of basically how um, the market is set up based on ease of entry, competition, product differentiation, things like that. So sometimes this is a little confusing to understand, but a lot of times um, I think we learn a lot kind of through images that we see. So just real briefly, you see there the definition of kind of what a market structure is and the number of firms producing identical products, services in the market. Um, and again, as we go through here, you see there the major determinants of a market structure, the number of sellers there, number of buyers in the market. The main one down there is really number five, the entry and exit barriers in particular market. How easy is it to get into that market, or how difficult may it be? And product differentiation is a big thing we'll focus on as we go through here. You see there market structures. There's four types: perfect competitions on one end of the spectrum, and monopoly is on the other end of the spectrum. And in the middle, you have monopolistic and oligopoly. So we will be looking at those four. And the first one there you see is the pure perfect competition, and you see at the bottom here there is a spectrum kind of as far as how much ease of entry, say there, and how much competition there is in that. And you see this is the easiest form of entry into the market itself. And the products are identical. And I'll give you an example. Farmers, a market of selling fruits, vegetables, things like that. The products are identical. And it's very easy. If you want to grow a garden in your backyard and you want to go to market and sell them, that is pure perfect competition. You can do that. And so again, it's very easy to do and easy to enter that market. Again, this is the simplest form of a market structure. And again, then we'll get more complex as we kind of go. But that is ease of entry there. Here's some pictures here, just kind of show you, obviously, apples, the farmer's market, things like that. Identical products that we see there. Monopolistic competition, you see there, meets all conditions of a perfect competition except for identical products. There's tons of product differentiation in a monopolistic market, and we'll see that and talk about that. I think you guys know this stuff, but you don't realize you do. And when we see the images and stuff, I think you'll understand. Advertising giveaways, you always see tons of advertising in monopolistic and also oligopolies because they're always trying to compare their products to the other competition there. That's where we see tons of advertising, and you'll see that as we go through here. Let me go back. You see also pretty easy entry there. Jeans, tons of different products as far as blue jeans are concerned, lots of different brands. And this is just three, and some of these are very old. I know there's a bunch more updated jeans out there. But again, you see down there at the bottom, product differentiation is a big thing in a monopolistic competition. The shampoo, you see here, there's some for $14.50, and then there's some for $54. And again, something's got to be different for them to be charging $54 instead of the $14.50 on the others. So again, they look similar, but obviously there's some product differentiation within that product to make it different. Makeup is another one. You see prices there. Again, product differentiation. There's got to be something major there. And we see this on tons and tons of products within our market system we have. So anyway, that's just a couple of examples of what monopolistic competition looks like. Oligopolies, you have a big thing here is a few very large sellers that dominate an industry. I think with images, this does a great example of explaining this. Collusion, formally agreed set price. I think you'll see that in the net puzzle we'll do. You see down at the bottom, as far as ease of entry and competition down there, you see the spectrum on that there. Let me look at some pictures here. This will kind of help you a little bit. Coca-Cola products, Dr. Pepper products, General Mills, Johnson & Johnson, those are all oligopolies. Toyota, Honda, Ford, GMC, all oligopolies because there's a few manufacturers, say in the auto industry, but again, underneath those manufacturers, you have other vehicle manufacturers that they actually control. And you see here just kind of an image of top right is Coca-Cola products. This top left, Cadbury Schweppes no longer owns Dr. Pepper, and we'll talk about that here in just a minute. And then your Pepsi products. Those are three oligopolies here that we'll see. This is a great, and I know this image is kind of hard to see because the logos are so small, but you see in the center here, the oligopolies, Quaker, Nestle, PepsiCo, Coca-Cola, UC and Mars, Kellogg's, and there's many more of these oligopolies. But underneath these, say, General Mills, you have all these other branches and smaller products that they control and that they own. So this is kind of what an oligopoly looks like. Coca-Cola Classic, very poor picture here, the distorted image here, but you see some of the Coca-Cola products there, and I'll show you a different one. I'm going to get out of this one here. We'll go on to Pepsi. A little bit better image here. PepsiCo, you see Quaker Oats there. You see Lay's potato chips. You see Ruffles potato chips. You see 7-Up is there. Sprite, Coke. I think Coca-Cola is Sprite. Pepsi is 7-Up. And you see also looks like Starbucks there, Lipton tea, Tropicana orange juice. All these oligopolies have their own brand of product that are very similar to the other products, like Gatorade. You see Pepsi owns Gatorade. Well, Powerade is Coca-Cola, I believe. Again, Pepsi, Coca-Cola, very similar products, but they're different, okay, obviously. Here's Kraft. You see just some of the Kraft umbrella here, Oreo, Tang, premium crackers, Kool-Aid, Chips Ahoy, Newton's, tons of different ones. DiGiorno Pizza is all Kraft products there. Here's Nestle. You see Tombstone Pizza. You see their water. It's kind of funny when you think of waters. You know, we have Aquafina, we have Nestle water, we have, gosh, go blank on some of them. But each oligopoly has their own water, and it's like their own chips and their own this and own that. So that's why sometimes when you go to restaurants and you say, I'd like to order a Coke, and they say, we don't have Coke, we have Pepsi. Well, that is what they sell, and they cannot legally sell Coke because they're a Pepsi product restaurant. And again, if you ask for Sprite, we don't have Sprite, we have Sierra Mist. Well, that's because probably they don't obviously sell the product there, and they have to have a substitute for that. So going down, here's Dr. Pepper Keurig. You probably did not realize, but Dr. Pepper is now a part of Keurig, and you see some of the things that they have there within the pictures here. And you see 7-Up under this one, and they were also under Pepsi. My guess is obviously one of these is an old picture and obviously no longer is bought or not a part of, say, Dr. Pepper, or I believe it was Pepsi, the earlier picture. So they do buy and sell these companies between each other at times. So and these things can always change. It does happen. So you see her 7-Up there, A&W Root Beer, Sunkist, Snapple. But all these places sell their own types of tea. Snapple, obviously, is the type of tea. Nestle's tea, Lipton's tea, Sunkist orange drink, again, can be sold under a different orange drink, can be sold under, say, Coke or Pepsi, something like that. Root beer, you have tons of different root beers. You have Barks, A&W, obviously, IBC root beer, but they're all kind of underneath a different oligopoly that they're sold under. So auto industries here, you see Toyota, Scion, Lexus there. And again, some of these car manufacturers, guys, they do change. Sometimes they go and are not being sold anymore. Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and that's why there's a lot of times you see commercials talking about the vehicles. Obviously, Chrysler sells. GM's a big one. I know Saturn used to be under the GM umbrella, but no longer. I do not think Saturn makes vehicles anymore. I'm not sure Pontiac. I think they may, but they've streamlined their production. I know Buick has streamlined their production of vehicles, and no longer do they make a whole bunch of different types of vehicles. They've really streamlined what they produce. And then the final one is a monopoly, and most of you probably understand a monopoly fairly well. But again, you have one seller, and again, I put the game on here simply because that is what monopoly is about. Is obviously taking control over the entire market and properties, and that's what the game is. And you see here less competition. Monopoly, you have limited competition. Why? Because one company pretty much owns all of it. And again, they are illegal, but sometimes there's some that form just because of, sometimes it can be location, geography, and sometimes just because nobody can compete with what they do, and they just kind of have cornered the market in a product. So, um, Microsoft, I know they've been investigated for um, being a monopoly, and I'm not sure what the findings were on that. Natural monopolies there. Sometimes your energy companies can be natural monopolies as far as different types of energy, reusable energy, and you've got the windmills and all that kind of stuff. Geographic monopoly. Sometimes you're just so far away from everything. You may sell a product that you have a monopoly on selling it just simply because you're so far in distance is such an issue there. Technological monopolies here. You see the patent there of a Segway for 17 years, which I'm sure that is totally gone now by Segway. And then sometimes, again, the NFL. You don't have much competition with the NFL. And I know there's Arena League, and sometimes you have World Football, things like that, but really nothing can compete with the NFL. And then also we'll have the United States Post Office. Again, they're the only ones who deliver mail. And again, can be kind of a government monopoly there that you see. But guys, on this PowerPoint, the main things I know the main market structures you're going to be responsible for on the test is going to be monopolistic competition and oligopoly. So those are going to be the two main ones. Um, I may have monopoly on there too. I think it's monopoly and oligopoly instead of um, monopolistic. I think it's monopolies and oligopolies are going to be the two that you'll see on the test mostly. So anyway, hopefully you learned a little bit here, and we will finish up right there.